Three, two, one, we are live. What's up, everybody? This is the Bologna Burger Podcast. We are doing a little test of the YouTube channel today. We're not going to be on Wednesday at 7:30 like we normally are, but Steve will be coming to you Thursday at 7:30. I might make that show. I might not. I'm not 100% sure. But since we're not coming at you Wednesday, I wanted to drop a little YouTube video and hopefully get you over or whatever till Thursday. But the Thursday podcast will have Chris Regal. They're going to preview the Cars Tour race at Hickory, the throwback race, and they will possibly reveal some of the paint schemes. And they'll definitely talk about them and, the origins. They'll talk about some of the legends that are coming to that race. So be sure to check that out Thursday at 7:30 on the Facebook channel, streaming live. But while we're on here testing, let's talk about the Hampton Heat race a little bit. The Heat was the main story, but your winner was Connor Hall. He beat Nick Smith, which was a pretty cool story because he said Nick Smith, growing up to him, was like Jeff Gordon, to the rest of us. That was a guy he idolized, a guy he really looked up to, and so beating him was really cool, especially to do it on such a big stage as the second leg of the Triple Crown. So Connor Hall with a big win for himself there. Pretty good race. There was a lot of passing. There was a lot of action. A lot of wrecks, a lot of cautions. I think it ended up being like 270 something laps, which was really bad once again because of the heat. But probably the biggest caution, the biggest moment. Lee Pulliam had the lead in the latter stages of the race, probably less than 10 laps to go. Peyton Sellers was coming. He chased him down. They got together. Peyton dove in really hard and hit the back end of Lee, and depending on who you pull for, if you're a Sellers guy, you're like, it's just good, hard, clean racing. If you're a Lee Pulliam fan, you're like, he dumped us. But either way, that's going to be up for debate. You can pick whichever side you want to on that. But the outcome of it was they were both sent to the back of the field. And under the caution, Lee Pulliam brake checked Sellers. And then after that caution was over, Lee chased down Sellers and returned the favor. He spun out Sellers. Then it sort of calmed down after that. Peyton recovered to get fourth place, and I think he recovered to get sixth. So they both sort of made the best out of that situation. But going forward, that'll be a pretty big story. We'll see what happens. If Lee decides to retaliate, which some people on social media have said, that could possibly impact Peyton's national championship run that he's going for. And, further down the line, it could also affect his Triple Crown race if Lee decides to do that at Martinsville. So that'll be an interesting story to follow as it develops and as it goes on. But aside from all that, the biggest story of the Hampton Heat race was the actual heat itself. On the track, it was 145 degrees. It was 90 degrees in the air with a heat index of 110. And inside of the cars, it was 140 degrees. These conditions took out two drivers early, C.E. Falk and Wyatt Cooks. And the winner, Connor Hall, when he got out of that car, if you looked at his face, you could just see the exhaustion. It was just amazing. I had probably Dover in the 90s when Kyle Petty got out of a car was the last time I've seen a driver this exhausted and tired. But everybody was absolutely wore out. But they put it all on the line to give a good show, and it really was a great show. It was on Fans Choice TV. If you don't have that, check that out. That's a good place to watch it. But back to the heat. C.E. Falk burned his heel and back, and also got some carbon monoxide poisoning from where the air doesn't circulate inside the car, where they've got them sort of sealed off or whatever to reduce drag to make them faster. And Wyatt Cooks actually took extra precautions to not overheat. He had a cool suit on, but before the race even started, that cool suit malfunctioned and actually turned into like an extra set of long johns, he said. So that cooked him even more. So that was Wyatt Cooks' issue. But this sort of brings up a good point. This is kind of like a driver safety issue at this point, as it's getting hotter and stuff like that. So going forward, it'll be interesting to see because the drivers and teams aren't going to put anything inside of a car that slows it down, and that's extra weight. So they don't want to put an extra cooling system or anything like there. But it'll be interesting to see if Cars Tour or NASCAR or whatever mandates a extra cooling system. I know in NASCAR right now they've got the one you can put on your stomach, so it gets some extra circulation going to your core, and they got the one that goes to your helmet. And with the CE Fawkes situation, I know NASCAR has the box that takes the carbon monoxide out, so that'd be really cool to have. So let's see going forward if these guys get mandated this extra safety gear. The only downside I see to this, people might complain about the cost because everything in racing cost. But other than that, I don't really see it being a huge issue. I don't think anybody would complain about the weight if it's a driver safety thing. So if it gets mandated, I think that would be a good thing. It would sort of be like the Hans device back in the day. Like people would probably gripe about it at first, but then when they saw the benefits of it, I think everybody would be cool with it. So that's my take from the Hampton Heat, and so drop your comments down below. Go ahead and click subscribe. We are going to drop some more content. I don't know how long it'll be. We're going to try to start recording the Facebook live stream too as well and putting it on YouTube. But this is our first one, and this is just a little test. So hit that subscribe button and follow us, and definitely check out the podcast on Spotify and Podbean right now. We are still working on iTunes. All right. We're out.